want to thank all of you for responding to the call. Um, this is going to be very, very short, but very powerful. It's going to be very short and very powerful. My name is Munya, the heavyweight. You can call me other names if you wish to. I won't sue you for that. Enforcing the agenda is the reason why we are here. I've been talking to the bishop about enforcing the agenda, and he saw the light and the importance for us to come together so that we can bring something tangible and something solid for where we want to be in as far as media is concerned. I'm sure all of you understand that media is the top thing in all aspects of life. Looking at the corporate world, looking at the church at large, we cannot do without media. Right now we all have phones. You have Facebook there, you have WhatsApp, you have TikTok, LinkedIn and other platforms. This is all covered by media. But there must then be a foundation set, which is a foundation that brings a clear understanding and picture of where you are coming from and where you are going. So I'm going to try by all means to use scriptures, since we are dealing with church media. So enforcing the agenda starts by you realizing where you stand. It starts by you realizing where you stand. Your inability to realize where you stand will then lead you into serious chaos and confusion. If you do not have an understanding of the ground that you stand on, you will operate in serious confusion. Who is going to be our timekeeper? This is 14:31. We're trying to cover at least 45 to 1 hour. Okay, so if you look into your Bible, I'm going to use biblical references so that it can make sense. Okay, if you look into your Bible, you understand that there is a time that God thought of bringing the children of Israel out of Egypt, and then he called a man named Moses. And then when he called Moses, Moses saw an appearance of God in form of a burning bush. And when he said, "Let me turn aside and look at this manifestation," then he had a voice. But there is something that can guide us as a media department or as a media team. Like I said, when we enforcing the agenda, we have to understand the ground by which we stand on. So God said to Moses, "Remove your shoes." He said, "Remove your shoes, because the ground that you stand is a what? Is a holy ground." So God wanted Moses to start understanding the ground by which he stand on. It's a different ground altogether from where you're coming from. You've now came close, and this is the ground that I own as God. Okay, so Moses took off his shoes. Now he has an understanding. He has admitted that the ground that I stand on here is totally different from where I'm coming from. So as media team, we have to understand that the ground we're standing on in Fig Ministries is a different ground from Paspemuti Ministries somewhere there. It's a different ground from SABC. Is a different ground from James Sasa somewhere there. Okay, this is the ground that is called Fig Ministries, right? So Fig Ministries has an agenda which has to be realized each and every time that we stand on this ground as a media team. And I want you to realize that being in media is so exciting. So exciting. You actually have a platform to exhibit your gift in its full capacity without anybody telling you A, B, C, D. You are like the creator. You're the one that creates the visuals that people look at. But it then makes sense when you understand the ground that you are standing on. This is why we are here. This is why we are saying, let us enforce the agenda. Let's remind ourselves on the ground we are standing on. Let's remind ourselves on the importance of realizing where we stand on. So, I've written something down here that I want to quickly share with you. Enforcing the agenda means actively pushing narratives or perspectives so they dominate public attention. Enforcing media agenda means actively pushing narratives or perspectives so they dominate public attention. In as much as we are called to be humble, there is a level of operation in as far as media is concerned that we need to push for us to get what is called public attention. You all know that we have to stay humble, nobody should know what we do and all that, but it's totally different from the media guys. The media guys, your main goal is to get the public attention. What is it that is going to make somebody watch our live service every Sunday for 2 hours? What is it we can do to get somebody attracted to following our page? We're knocking on their door and we want that which is called the public attention. I'll just give you an example. For me, I always tell people I provoke a reaction. I look for something different to do, whether on me or how I do my work and all that. So, what do I want? I want a public attention, because if I get the attention, it will be easy for me to showcase what I have. Just like in the marketplaces, I mean, if 20 people are selling guavas or bananas there, you have to find a different way of presenting your own bananas. It might be the same product, but the way you present it, you want attention. There should be somebody that is saying, the way this is packaged is unique, and they'll follow that. You have already gotten the public attention. So as media, we need that public attention. How many people do we have around our town? And what are we doing in order for us to gain that public attention? Do they know us when we walk out? Do they know us when they watch our videos? What is it that we can do? I used to cut off my hair completely, and I realized, I've been doing it for a long time, and then I changed. I used to cut my beard round, and I realized, people are too used to it. Now I leave this. And people are asking me, hey, come on, look at this guy. I say, yeah. I was in the gym on Friday, yesterday, and we done our workout sessions, and then the guys are coming together, as guys. And they're like, hey, man, what's this? I'm like, yeah, I like it this way. 6 people were asking me, why do you cut your beard like this? I said, there's some reason why you're asking me. I actually made it. I caused you to ask me. Public attention. All right. So in media, when we present what we have, we want them to stay. Because there are people, remember, if you're on TikTok, there's this whole scrolling thing that happens. You just, up to until you get to a place where you find something interesting or something catchy, be it quality or leisure or funny or whatever, you just scroll and say, this one. So that's exactly what we want to do as media. We want to make sure that when they get to our work, they stay and they share. This is why we have to enforce the agenda. I also said, walk with the wise and become wise. Walk with 3 fools and then become the 4th one. So when you walk with the wise, you become wise. You walk with fools, three fools, and then definitely you become the fourth one. So in media, we definitely have to continuously look at who are we walking with. So who are we walking with is what drives us, the vision and the mission. According to the scriptures, we're moving very fast because of time. According to the scriptures, the most important thing to do is number one, vision. This applies to everyone that serves within the church department. But in this case, we're talking about media, vision. What is the vision of the media? What is the vision of the ground that you stand in, which is the entire organization or the church that you are under? What is the vision of the church? What is the vision that we have as a media team? If there is no vision, what does your Bible say? People perish, right? Without vision, people perish. Without vision, departments collapse because there's no vision. Habakkuk chapter number 2, verse number 2. What does it say? It says, write down a vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it may run with it. I'm trying to use scriptures because you guys are a church media team, and you can't run away from scriptures. I know there are some times where we are tempted as media team to say, okay, you know what, I found something from YouTube, or I found something from TikTok. The way to do it is like A, B, C, D. We have to do it this way. But in this case now, we are guided by scriptures. So everything that we do has to be enforced by the power of the scripture. And the power of the scripture comes even through the teachings of your leader, the man of God. Okay? But like I said, Habakkuk chapter number 2, verse number 2, it says it's straight from number 2 and number 3. Write down the vision, make it plain, so that he who reads may do what? May run with it. So we all have a clear vision of what we want to achieve. What is it that the men of God want to achieve in as far as media is concerned? Because sometimes we get so tempted to get into the church and then start taking pictures. Okay, what are we focusing on? All right, we've taken 25 pieces of pictures, photographers. We've taken 25 pieces of pictures. But what are you going to do with those 25 pictures? What purpose are they serving? Who are you taking? I remember we had some guys that used to, take pictures in the church. And they take pictures until the battery runs out. They are busy because all they know, all they came for is to take pictures. That's all they knew. Okay, but how many pictures do we need? They don't know. Who should they focus on? They don't know. Boom, 16 gig memory card, full. 1 terabyte hard drive, full, 2 services. How much is that terabyte? How much is a hard drive? So we have to keep pumping out money to buy new storage, that we keeping information that we can hardly use, and sometimes we'll never use it. So making the vision plain and understanding the vision will help you work well. We have to try to be very, very practical. The videos, when we take videos, how many videos do we need a Sunday? And who should we be focusing on? What is our main subject? All those things are covered on the vision. Because if you're being driven by the understanding of the vision, you know that, okay, fine, when I'm capturing from a church, if it's pictures, how many pictures do I need for the public? And what's happening right now when we take 10 pictures of the congregants, individual by individual, and we post them on Facebook? We have done what is called free marketing of an individual. We have not marketed the organization. Have you noticed as media guys that sometimes you take pictures of people in the church and somebody knows very well that you're going to take a picture of me and they can't wait for the service to be over so that you can upload it on Facebook and they go pull it from Facebook and put it on their status. Nothing mentioned about the church? No. Do you see that? So what have you done? Have you saved the church or you have saved the person? You have given a free photography to somebody. Do you see that? So we have to look at all those things and say, okay, what should we do? I'm sure you have seen most of the media houses, when they take pictures, they make sure that they put a watermark on the picture. So whether you're going to use that picture or that video, there's already a watermark there, which you cannot remove. So wherever that picture is going to go, it's going to speak of the name of the organization. Because we want to be known. We want people to know our church. We want people to know our men of God. We want people to know what we do. So, who is the main subject in as far as media is concerned when we're shooting pictures? Who is the main subject? When we trek, I'm sure you guys have spoken about this before, or you have been aware of it, that when you're in church, your main subject is the man of God. He's the main subject. Without him, we can't even take pictures. We can't record a video. Now, when we're trekking where he is with those that are around him. So if the man of God gets into the crowd, we can capture the crowd with the man of God because we have the subject there. So it's important to understand the vision. Write it down. And if you look at how it's stated in Habakkuk, it says, write it down on tables. Write it down where nobody can erase it. Write it down in a place where you are driven by it each and every time you step into the environment or step into the ground. The minute you walk into that door, you know, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to. Even if, sometimes we're tempted because we have friends or we have people that we know within the church. And then they can give you that smile. And you're holding a camera. You won't resist the smile. You just say, okay, you take a picture. But what are we going to do with that picture? Do you see that? So we have to stick to the vision. What is the vision? Who are we marketing? Who do we want in the camera? Who do we want to capture? So the main subject is the man. The rest is what is called garnish to those that understand cooking. See, you go into a restaurant, the main meal, there's the T-bone there and then maybe the rice. The rest of the floury thing, the tomato rings, the cucumber, it's just garnish, nothing more. Okay, so it's important to have an understanding of the vision. Now, how then do you understand the vision without eyes? I want to give you Genesis chapter number 13, verse number 14 down to 15. Genesis 13, 14 down to 15. You all know that Abraham was walking with Lot, but they then had a misunderstanding. There was a friction between the servants, and then Abraham came and he said, we shouldn't have all this strife that we have over each other. Let's separate. You go this way, I go this way, but you choose. And you realize that Lot chose, I'm sure, the way to Jordan, and Abraham remained. After that separation, God came back again, and he said to Abraham, lift up your eyes. As far as you can see, I'll give to you. Okay? So Abraham lifted his eyes and he saw the four corners of the compass. north, east, south, west. And God said, all that I've given you, including the place that Lot had actually traveled to. So there is a lifting up of your head, lifting up and opening your eyes to see. So Abraham did not just lift up his eyes at his own accord. He lifted up his eyes by the voice of God, which is the word of God. Remember, scientifically, these eyes can't see where there's no light. Our eyes can't see. If we switch off all these lights here, and we can't see. Our ability to see is because of the presence of the light. And the presence of the light is actually the presence of the word of God, because the word of God is light. Psalms 119 verse 105. For thy word is lamp unto my feet. So Abraham could have not lifted up his eyes and could have not seen what he saw if there was no word. So the voice of God, which is the word, came to him, lift up thy eyes, and then he lifted up his eyes. But firstly was separation, remember. So when you are part of such a big thing such as this, you know that you have been separated. So what you now need to do is to lift up your head by the word, which is the lamp unto your feet. Remember I told you about where Moses was standing on, and he was told, remove your shoes, for the land that you stand on is holy. Okay? And that word is the lamp unto my feet, where I stand on, which then be the foundation and the vision. So for us to be able to see clearly on the vision of the media team of Fig Ministries, we have to stand on the understanding of the word and on the light of the word. So when I was preparing this, I discovered that most of the times I don't use scriptures. But I realized the importance of using scriptures because you guys work with scriptures. Without scriptures, you cannot drive the agenda of the media thing. You can't. You need the word. So you realize that when I was packing my message, I had to put as much scriptures so that it can make sense. Thy word is the lamp unto my feet. Abraham, lift up your eyes, look. So if I lift up my eyes to look in the presence of the light, which is the word, I have an ability to see. So if the vision is written down and it is plain in the presence of the word, I have the ability to lift my eyes and see. And when I can see, I can read and understand and run with that vision. What is the vision of this ministry? Anybody who wants to tell me, what's the vision of this ministry? Boom, one man down. What's the vision of the ministry? I'm not asking for the media, I'm asking for the Fig Ministries. What's the vision? Can you hear what he's saying? Okay, thank you. That is the vision. Yeah. So this is where it starts. It starts from there. And then it then comes to the vision of the media. So it doesn't start from the vision of the media team. It starts from the vision of the church. And then it comes down to the vision of the media. Because the media, you can revise your vision because the world is evolving. Things are changing. So you can put and say, okay, this is our 6 months vision. This is our 1 year vision. We're driving this. Okay. So we spoke about the vision from the book of Habakkuk. We spoke about the separation and lifting up of eyes, the presence of the word, and I gave you scriptures: Habakkuk chapter number 2, Genesis 13:14 to 15, Psalms 119, 105, that says, "Thy word is lamp unto my feet." Okay. We also have to quickly look at purpose. The purpose. Most people confuse purpose and calling. They confuse purpose and calling. Purpose is the reason why you exist. Why are you in media? So if you cannot ask yourself that question and answer that question, it then becomes difficult for you to operate. What is my purpose in the media department? Why am I there? So this is something that I'm going to leave with you guys so that you can do an individual assignment. Sit down with yourself and say, why am I part of the Faith in God Ministries media? Why am I there? And then later on, what is it that is expected of me in there? Those are two powerful questions. If you can answer those ones, trust me, you will do exploits. Daniel chapter number 11:32 or 10:32. Go check it. It says, "And they that know their God shall be strong, and they shall do exploits." And if we were to change that scripture to our use as media team, we say, "They that understand their purpose in the forward Faith in God ministry media shall do exploits." If you understand your purpose in the media team, you will do exploits. So doing exploit means you're doing according to the prescribed manner to bring out a manifestation. Because of time, we have to move. All right. Structure. Let's talk about structure. Structure. Is there anyone with a Bible here? Because if I keep reading mine, you'll think I'm the one that wrote it. Anyone with a Bible in their phone? You have a Bible, okay. Please read for me 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse number 10. We're talking about structure. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 10. Mm-hmm. Okay, read it again. Mm-hmm. Okay. You see what he says there? He says, by the grace of God, I've laid a foundation. But let him that build be what? Careful on how he is going to raise the structure on the laid foundation. So we have a laid foundation, which is the vision already. But what we're going to do as the media team, we've got to be careful. He's even instructing us there. How we're going to build it, we've got to be careful on how we are going to build on the laid foundation. So when you're building structures in the media department, when you're saving each and every service or outside service, you've got to be very careful on what you're going to be using to build, the material that you're going to use. I know these days we are tempted to go on YouTube and Google and search how to do this, how to do this, how to do this. And sometimes it might not be in line with the expectations of the ministry. I'm sure he can tell you that sometimes you feel like, no, the way that the church is doing it is not the way I see it. So you have conflict. There is a bit of some friction. No, we should do it this way. And you feel like, no, we should do it this way. So that's why now he's saying, be careful on the material that you're going to use to build on the laid foundation. So we have definitely then have to visit the foundation and say, okay, in this month of August, how are we going to lay our structure? What material are we going to use? That's now the area where you say, what is it that is catchy these days? How should we record our videos? Landscape or portrait? How many videos do we need on Facebook and how many videos do we need on Instagram or YouTube? Which one gives us what we want? Which one draws more of the public attention? Is it TikTok? Is it Instagram? And that's what exactly Apostle Paul is talking about. Okay, so building on structures, we just need to be very, very careful on that. And we also look at excellence there. I'm sure you have gone on social media and you've realized that if you happen to capture a video with Nokia 3310 and then you post that video on your Instagram, you hear everybody saying, yakasheka. You hear everybody saying, hey, I see there was smoke. were you covering a fire scene or what? So people of this generation, we are in the generation of quality, we're in the generation of excellence. So there definitely has to be a bit of some excellent hands and quality hands. And I'm sure that's why you keep upgrading the cameras, the lenses and all that. Because we are in that time. If we do anything that is below the standard, it means that we are going to lose in as far as our public attention is concerned. Okay, so, and also, we have church members that are most of our church members these days, these are guys vanotoswera opa social media. Saka vanotoziva zvakanaka nezvakashata. They know. So we have to deliver the best so that we keep them locked in our pages. We have to do the best to get them locked into our TikTok accounts, locked into our Instagram account. The quality has to be top. Okay. So that's on structures. So excellence, creativity comes in there. How then do we shoot? How should we create our videos? These days you realize that there's something called 360 shoot. I don't know if you heard about it. 360 shoot. I'm sure in the season of birthdays and weddings, you have seen that 360 thing that goes around. A lot of people love those kind of videos. And also, you have seen different churches on TV where they no longer put their stage on one angle. They put the stage on the middle so they can be able to go around. So there's a camera that goes around, especially those handheld cameras. The guy will be going around, and that then brings out a 360 shoot. Different angles can work so that people are not just watching one side. So I've said with quite a number of media guys, and the same feedback they were giving, to say if there's no creativity in a video, people will just watch for the first 2-3 minutes and they just say it's boring. So we have to be creative in as far as video production is concerned. Who does the final production of the videos? And then who controls the video system? on live recording? Oh, so you guys work from there? Okay. What's your experience so far in as far as that is concerned? Have you gotten any feedback from what you have done for the past time? Yeah? What you're producing. When you produce something and put it in the market, you must have feedback, negative and positive. Is top. Okay. Feedbacks are very good, they help you. Um, I always like 90% of negative and 10% of positive. You know why? I look at the type of people that are commenting. Because sometimes we get feedback because we expected to get it. They know, especially from church people, if you get 90% of positive feedback from church people, not that they don't want you to go anyway. They're setting you a trap. They want you to be on one level. If you do something when it comes to media here and you hear somebody outside the church commenting positively, then you know 100%. Because church people have a certain standard they are used to. And some of them might not have gone beyond church seeing. Remember I told you about Genesis 13, as far as you can see. As far as you can see. So we have certain people who actually do not watch soccer. We have certain people who do not watch news because they feel like Satan is going to jump out of the TV and possess them. Yet that's where quality and excellence come from. If you're a media personality, you have to go into every area in finding out how best you can beautify what you do. That's how I started. I never started with church thing. I knew the church people would just give me what I want to hear. I said no. So you watch how these guys do it on TV, on bigger platforms, on news, on soccer, how things are done, and you're like, okay, let's go. Feedback. Look for somebody who can criticize what you do constructively. Somebody who can push you to the deep and say, no, there's this way, there's that way, there's that way. That way, you can be the best. Remember, we have competitors. Our competitors are not churches. We have to look beyond church. Because most churches, some of the churches, you guys are privileged. Churches have cameras, they record. Some churches don't even record. They don't know what quality is. They don't know. And if a person comes and says, hey, what you're doing is good, check their level also. Because if I have a 3310 phone, and that's the one I'm using to take pictures, and that's what is good for me. So obviously, if I see something recorded by a camera, I don't look at so many things. I just look at the level of quality. So look for somebody who is far above. Let that person criticize you constructively, and then you move to the next level of performance. Okay. Let's finish up. All right, so we spoke about excellence, creativity, punctuality, and integrity. You have to be punctual. Nobody should push you. Nobody should ever push you. You should be passionate about what you do. If it means the church starts at 10, what time should the media be here? What time are you guys here? Huh? 11:15. When the church starts at 10, what time should the media be here? Huh? 10:50. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly. So the media should actually be here 1 or 2 hours earlier. You know why? That's where you do the test, everything, and make sure everything is spot on. And that's where you exercise your creativity. Church media gets boring, especially if the team does not know how to spice it. We have to spice the media. Before the church starts, you guys should be the ones cooking some starters. We need some starters. The people out there need some starters. So what starters do we give them? I've been following the media. I've been following the page. What happens every day? You're just sitting there and then boom, we see the live coming. The bishop is already there. Hallelujah. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the main course. We didn't have starters. We didn't have the soup. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So let's try by all means to be as creative as possible. But it doesn't start from creative. It starts from punctuality. Are we punctual? Are we passionate? What should be our starters? Tomorrow is a service. Tomorrow is a Sunday service. What can we give to the people as starters? So I check. I've been checking. I'm like, okay, we should have some starters, but we didn't have starters. Okay, after the service, do we have some dessert? That's how I visualize this whole thing as a meal. That's why you realize that some other ministries, they have a pre-broadcast before the main service. And on their pre-broadcast package, they have all these kind of miracles happening, what people are looking for. Maybe it rolls for 10 minutes or it plays for 30 minutes before the main thing. And then, boom, the main service starts. You know, somebody wakes up on Sunday. Every Sunday they know is a church day. Whether they are going to be in their blankets, it's a church day. But if we then give them what to watch before our main service, we've gotten them. Starters. Let's give people starters. There are people who are logged on Facebook account. The minute they wake up, they are logging on. And sometimes they're discouraged, whether by weather, you know, it's cold. Somebody's busy thinking, hey, should I go to church? Should I not? Should I go to, I'm in the plan. And then they open a Facebook page and they see, brother so-and-so is already in church, he's on fire. Oh, he's saying this, he's saying this. Look at what's happening. Oh yeah, guys, come on, I'm bathing. Let me go to church. We need their attention. We need to make sure that we give people starters. Okay? Competence. We all know if we are not set on the mark for competition, then we will never go anywhere. Who else is doing better than us? I heard the feedback, okay, everybody's saying we're doing okay. But around us, who else is doing it? Let's look at the churches that are around. Let's look at their media, their production. Sometimes you have to sit like this and say, okay, let's visit. We have heard that there's a church that is so and so. Let's look for, go to their page and say, how are they doing it? What is their followers like? What are the likes? Let's check quality. How are they doing it? What kind of people are they attracting? Okay, let's adjust it here. We're not saying copy what they are doing, but we're saying create a frame so that you get to where you want to get to. Very important. Who is your competition? Who is your inspiration? All those things, they matter. If you don't have a competition, there's nothing that drives you. You just come here, you hold the camera, you fall asleep. I've seen media guys falling asleep while on camera. You know, I understand people can be tired, but somebody can fall asleep or be occupied with other things. You have your phone with you and you're busy chatting like this. You're there, the man of God moves. They go off camera. And then later on you realize, okay, let's do it like a video game. Wow! We've already messed up big time. So with big guys that are watching from home, you know, we have honorables, ministers and all that do not come to our church, but they follow us. And once we give them such kind of quality, they get messed up. So we definitely have to make sure that we are logged in and we are glued in. Okay? Competence. We have to be competent. The world is evolving, therefore we need adaptability and flexibility. We need to be flexible enough to change, flexible enough to accept new things, to say, okay, we used to do it this way, but now we have to do it this way because times and seasons, they're changing. Like I said, also, we shift. I was looking recently, Facebook has introduced this whole thing of erasing all the live videos. Okay? So imagine we have 200 live videos that we were relying on in the past. All of them get wiped off. What are we going to do? So we definitely have to be quick to adjust, to say now we are moving to YouTube, or we are moving to this pre-recorded videos. When you guys do live, do you save those live somewhere else in the hard drive? They're saved. Yeah, that's better. So what can we do now? So we need to definitely try to work in that line with flexibility, so that we don't become the people who are always saying, no, we have been doing it this way and we are stuck there, we are not moving. Let's be adaptable, let's be flexible, let's be willing to shift and change. Any questions? Any questions? Questions? Mibuzo. Okay. On starters, obviously, that's where you've got to be able to identify gifts, like people who have an ability to speak. Because every church must have reporters. Every church must have presenters. Yeah? Because it's a media thing. And it is the responsibility of the media to identify such gifts and to bring them to that place. So a person can report while people are walking in here and people are still, there's need for that. You see, like what happens on the news, the reporters, the news reporters, they have their mics, they own their mics. Right now, what's happening here at the Faith in God ministry, we are in preparation for this service. The man of God will be coming any minute from now. It's going to be something else. Remember last week, we had A, B, C, D. This is what happened. You should be able, that person should be able to tell people what they missed so that they create appetite. So this is an ability. Okay? We look at this, look at that. Okay, this is what's happening. If you're still at home, please get ready. Be here right on time. We're going to be starting at that. Then find one or two people from, just to call out and say, what's your expectations? Did you attend last week's Sunday? What did you learn? But be very careful and selective to bring in the right people who can say the right thing. Remember, we have an agenda. We have a vision to follow. So those can be starters. The same thing again in the desert side as well. We need somebody that can tell us, just summarize the service. Summarize the service, because there are people who cannot watch the whole 2 hours, but they're waiting for that summary. Can you summarize? There you can pick even one of the elders or pastors or whoever, and then they can summarize. But make sure that you're picking the right person that can, get to us getting the public attention. Yeah? And in that media thing as well, some things are not, there are things that you are not born with, okay? But you can learn. As long as you have passion for it, you can learn. I was never good in speaking, but I had to learn. I've stood in the biggest platforms. I don't need to crank myself. I don't stammer. I just have to. So it's something that I polish on, it's something that I work on every day. So you can look within yourselves and say, okay, let's pick one person that can represent us in that area. Then please start working on that. Start working on that. Start working on that. Start working on that. You start with written scripts. Move from written into freestyle. And I'm sure you guys, these guys are still young, so they can do it. No, it can be done. It can be done. It can, like I said, passion. If you have passion for what you do, what brings me here is nothing but passion. I'm passionate about what I do. And if you read my bio, it tells you clearly I'm passionate about excellence and I'm multi-potential, inspiring people, creating life. This is what drives me. So if you want it, you can. Why not? So one of these coming days, we'll come and help you guys. Show you how we can do 1, 2, 3, and then you tell me what you think about it. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? Any questions? I always say if you don't have questions, you have answers, so I'm going to ask you a question. Say that you have a question or you have an answer. On service or operations, it's unfortunately we can't cover everything, so I was just trying to rush because of time. In operation, the media guys are always in charge, and nobody should ever interfere with you. Whether a deacon, whether whatever title they have, they should not interfere. You are the guys that should tell the people what to do and how to do it, because you're the one behind the camera. Right? Yeah, you're the director. So it's not the person in front of the camera that should tell you how they should do, but you should tell them how they should do it. So if my camera is there, I should tell people how to sit. I should tell them when to stand. I should tell them how to walk when they leave where they are seated. I'm the director of the movie. I know what I want to produce. We can't just have people standing up at their own time and then they are walking there. No, it will mess up our visuals. That's operations and management. How should we do it? Okay, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Please, this is what we want to achieve. And I'm going to speak to the men of God. I'm going to tell them the same thing as well. Because there are things that get somebody out of focus when they are watching the video. Somebody just decides to stand up in the midst of the service, and then they decide to walk. Come on, we don't want to see you. We want to hear what the man has to deliver there, and no two ways about it. So that one is the media's responsibility. There must be time where people, okay, if people want to walk out of the church, they have to go this way, where they don't interfere with our visuals. You know, the church has been looked down upon, for your own information, because of the quality of production. So we want to run away from that. We want people to look at the Faith in God ministry and say, guys, this is number one. Professional. We have to be spiritual. We have to be professional. So what we deliver, even the president of South Africa should be willing to watch to say, yeah, this is it. So we control. The praise and worship, we talk to them. Guys, when you are standing on the podium, avoid A, B, C, D, E. I'm sure the media is the same thing as sound, right? Yeah, exactly. Tell them how to hold your microphones. You're the one who is doing it. Tell them. When you're done with the microphone, how do you put it down? How do you pass it to the next person? Because you're the one who is seeing from the camera. Yeah, The media has a big part to play in as far as production and church operation is concerned. If you don't have that room, it then becomes difficult for you to bring the required quality. Yeah. Yes. And also the media, you have the power to direct even up to the man of God himself. You have the power to direct up to the man of God, because the man of God is not behind the camera. All he has is to prepare the messages and come up here. But you guys have to tell him, okay, man of God, when you are wearing this Sunday, because of color A, B, C, D, this color is not allowed at all, because it gives us the visuals that are not on point. It's simple. Do you understand that? You're the director. You should tell people what colors go well. When people are sitting, you know, okay, this one, this one, this one, this one. Move them so that you bring out what you want to bring out. Have you ever watched? I've attended some meetings and some conferences. Thank God for this ministry that is well structured. There are places you go to where you have 24 colors on the stage. you try to look, thinking, is this the Garden of Eden? No. Are they florists? What are they trying to do? So it is the media that says, okay, this material doesn't work, or this must be removed, that color must be removed, because when we edit, our logo is going to be messed up. This is going to be the media guys. Okay, you see this cloth here, the green one. It's a beautiful cloth. It's a nice color. But with what we already have here, if we are to shoot there and we add on a person that will be wearing another color again, we have drama there. Comedy show. You know, the guys who are in the production, in the newsroom and all that, they are told what to wear. You know that? So the director there sets the background, sets all the colors, and tell them, okay, now we need constructing colors, a lot of contrast, or we need bright colors. So definitely for this production, we're looking at red, white, or black. That's it. Okay, so I think I've answered your question, right? On the starters and all that. So I needed to highlight on operation to say, when you come, you set your microphones, you set your cameras, you're watching, and people are walking around, people are doing this. Somebody decides to sit where they are not supposed to sit. Excuse them, please. Because of the camera here, you can't sit here. Can you look for somewhere else to sit? Ushers, please do not allow the people to sit there. I want somebody wearing black here, or somebody who is wearing this color here. Done. Oh, yes, we're not driven by people's reactions or opinions. We're driven by vision. We're driven by vision. People will always be people. They will react, especially in church. You have a lot of enemies, but stick to the return vision. That's it. They'll start hating you, but later on they will understand what you're trying to bring out. They will love you the more. And don't be afraid to be hated, especially if you're doing your job in the rightful way, with respect, and that's all. Okay. Any other questions before we call it a day? Yeah, so how many are photographers here? Do we have photographers? Who does photography? Photography. So the rest are in the video. Okay. I see. Okay. It's not here. Okay. No, that's it. On photos, that's where we have the big thing now, where we need to come up with a structure of saying, okay, how many photos should we have, and how should they be captured? Mm. No, I know. Sometimes look, we don't blame them. Excitement. Have you ever gone to a place where you feel like taking pictures? You take 27 and you only use one, and the rest will just fill up your storage. Even in our phones right now, we have pictures that we took and we don't even know why. We just took them. I was looking at my phone one day, I realized, okay, I had 5,000 and something pictures. I'm like, okay. And then later on, you realize the phone is telling you no more space. And I'm thinking, okay, have I used the pictures? No. Why did I take them? Am I planning to use them? So, in most cases, what we need, what the church wants to see, is a one picture that shows people who are sitting, okay? Or people who are standing and lifting up their hands, or just close, what do you call them? The close captures, okay? Of where the man of God is. Let's say he steps down here, he's talking to you guys, the main subject, and that's what we're looking for. So definitely in a Sunday service, if you take 10 pictures, they're actually okay. Because the other story is going to be told in the video. Our men of God might need 5 in those pictures or 4 in those pictures where he is on the pulpit and where he's in action. 3 or 4. Klar. Do you understand? The rest will be one picture. Okay, we see there's blue, there's that one, there's that one, there's that one. It's okay. So we're getting into that place where we just have to save. Okay, if we can take 10 pictures, how much time do we have? And something else can be done. Exactly. On editing. When you take less pictures, there's less time to do edit. So you're focusing on perfecting the 10 than editing 80, which are never going to work. His photos were less than 80, but overall, no, look, like I said, we need to be flexible. We learn every day. Sometimes we make mistakes and we learn from our mistakes. Okay, fine, but we're at this point now where we're saying, okay, fine, how many pictures should we take? Let's say 15 for argument's sake, and then we choose which ones will be the best. We take away 5, we're left with 10. We're good to go. Videos, definitely every moment must be captured, but we should always try to be creative. I'm not sure with how your setup is, because some setups are like this. The biggest part is done from that desk, where you crop or zoom in the setup. But some structures are set in a way that what is captured here is finalized there. It's the final. There you just need to just watch if everything is on, and then that's it. I don't know if that's what you guys do from here. From the cameras. Okay, so the zooming and everything is done from the cameras. You do the setup there, and then there it's just switching the cameras. So color perfection is done from the camera, the settings. So what happens there? It's just the switching of But the system that you use, does it allow you to crop? Does it allow you to adjust frames or what? Doesn't. Mm? Mm. Mm. Because if you're using, let's say, OBS, what you put in that OBS system, there's a place where you can um, zoom in or zoom out. Before you, because remember there's two settings. There's this where the camera is feeding to, and then there's output which goes online. So before you send it to go online, you work on it from this side. Ah, okay. So there is a zoom in, a zoom out on the preview where you can adjust, because something can go wrong here, or maybe you realize, okay, where the camera is focusing is okay, but you need to pull in a little bit, zoom in or zoom out. Can it be done from there? Because that's where creativity comes in, because that's where the big job is. The person that sits there has the power to direct this one, to say, the way your camera is doing, I don't like it. Please zoom it a little more, and then they will just do a little job to try and reposition or whatever. That can be done from there. Okay, we'll perfect some of these things as we go. Like I said, creativity is needed. We need a bit of some magic there. And do we have effects on that? Can we add effects and all that? Just in and out. Okay, all right. What did I want to ask again? So let's say the man of God is preaching, and then you have at that moment where something is happening in this church, and it doesn't have to be aired on the camera. What do? You just stop, you just pause it, or you mute this. Okay, all right, okay. So, which means there's need to create a little promo video, which can be 1 minute or 2 minutes, so that during that time, it's not just a logo, it can be a promo video that's running where people can, because I mean, I just don't want to look at the logo, I know it already. I want to see what's happening and something that can motivate me while I wait for something that is coming in. I think if we try that, don't you think it makes sense? What do you think? Yeah, we create a promo video, and or go back to the previous service clips that you can, play around with, and then write something from there. We'll be right back. Or stay tuned while the other thing, the visuals are going. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. And then when we are back, it continues. Because that can be done from there. Okay. I'm sure that's all that I have for you guys. If there are no questions. Yeah. 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 That one is a big thing. It's a big thing. When you are serving, especially in the house of God, you have to take everything serious. If you think you're serving a man, you have lost it. If you think that because I'm not being paid or what, you have lost it. Our reward comes from God. if we're doing it with all our heart, God sees the heart. Do you know that there are people who started serving just like what you guys are doing? And right now they were recognized by great people. And right now they are up there. So you might look at it and think, okay, I'm just doing it because, but trust me, this is life. It is life. And you are gaining experience. Do you know how much it takes for someone to give you a platform to practice? This is serious, eh? Having a platform to practice, being able to hold the camera and do this. The knowledge that you're going to get from there, the experience that you're going to get from there, nobody's going to take it away from you. And that's the same thing that people are paying for to go learn somewhere else. You should actually be paying school fees because you're learning. So I'm just trying to top up on what he said. You just need to take it serious. Just take it serious. And one thing that you need also to know is the position that you have there can be filled by anyone, anytime. When God gives you an assignment and you don't do it, God raises somebody else. He does that. So you need to be happy and say, this is my position and I want to perfect it. I want to deliver the best. Don't be a kind of a person that, we look at and they say, "Ay, come on, get away. We've heard about it before." Yeah, I know. They say it in their hearts. They might not say it vocally, but in there, you tell someone, no, say, "Hey, who are you?" Now, let's love one another, respect one another in the fear of the Lord, and deliver as a team. If things go well, it's for all of us. If things go bad, it's for all of us. Okay? So let's try by all means. And also discipline. Discipline is the last thing. You've got to know that when you come and you're holding a camera, you can't serve two masters. So your girlfriend is chatting, is texting, "Hi, baby, I miss you." And you're in the middle of the camera. You say, "Hey, yeah, let me respond. Hello, yeah, me too." The minute you do that, you have messed up big time. So tell the girlfriend, please don't chat with me on Sunday, or chat with me at 4 o'clock after church service. It works, right? No, listen, taking phones can be okay, but the thing is this, it's mentality. I can take your phone, but you still have the phone in your mentality, in your mind. It doesn't work. Program yourself in the sense that I have to discipline. It's called self-discipline. I have the phone, but I'm not going to respond to anything for the next 1 hour or for the next 2 hours. Imagine if the bishop here has his phone and then he's like, who has texted me? The book of Joshua chapter. Wait. Let me do a voice note. Hello, you get messed up. Do you understand what I'm saying? So self-discipline, just tell yourself, when I go to the church, if I am on data off, so that I don't have any messages coming into my phone. Because remember, you are serving in the presence of God, which means temptations will come. The devil will know when exactly you must be called, and that very person is the person you lastly texted and said, "I miss you," and then she's calling back. You're in trouble. That's when you realize some people leave the camera there and run, toilet, 2 minutes. When they go there, you think they're on the phone. I'm actually in the midst of the church, but hey, yeah. And you're thinking, what's happening? So self-discipline, put the data off, and then we're good to go. Just put the data off, keep the phone in your pocket, and then you're good to go. It's mentality. Program yourself and say, as long as I'm doing this. When I go fasting, my wife doesn't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to God. So 3 days from now, we're not talking. Leave me alone. If there's something to be addressed, God will tell me. That's what I do. Yes. Go big or go home. So when you come to church, this is church. That's it. Phone away. Switch it off. If you realize, okay, it's going to be a problem, just switch it off. Put it in the pocket. I'll attend to it later. Write on your status, hey guys, I've just stepped into the church. Anything urgent, I'll respond to you after 2 hours. Be diplomatic. Be professional. Be professional. That's it.